Good afternoon, Legit NG followers and everybody who's watching this at this moment. My name is Damla Rokola and you're watching our live broadcast from the ancient city of Benin. Those who are familiar with the Benin Kingdom know how much the ride is. Okay, so that's the sound from the Benin here. But where we are now is the residence of the Yase of Benin Kingdom, where the biggest bronze plaque ever will be unveiled shortly. We have the current Yase of Benin here on set. We have the chief of staff to the governor of Edo State also here, and the unveiling will be in a short while. This was designed by a young man called Lucas Osarobo, and is also here present today at the unveiling. The unveiling will be done in a short while. This space you're seeing behind me is the entrance to the point where the plaque is being placed for unveiling today. So I'm sure many people are familiar with the recent stories about the Benin bronzes, the artifacts that were stolen from Nigeria, which will be returned to Nigeria shortly. So this is one of the celebrations ahead of that return. We learned the artifact to be returned in October this year. But before then, we have the unveiling of the biggest or the largest bronze plaque ever you can ever see in any part of the world. So that's what we're doing here this afternoon. So there's like a procession ongoing right behind me. That's the Yase of Benin, the man on coffee brown. He's supported by the chief of staff to the governor of Edo State, and of course there are many dignitaries here present to witness this unveiling here today. So I'm taking you through this event here this afternoon. So just stay here and watch with us. That's the unveiling already, and we're going straight to where the largest bronze plaque is. Yeah. That's the Yase of Benin Kingdom. You see right there. So that's the young man there, Lucas, who designed this.
Don't back, not moving. Be showing them.
The mic is not working.
Can we stop from here? Please stop.
That's the Benin music you can hear on the background.
We need your voice. Welcome everybody. First camera. Be aside. First camera. Be by the side of your radio. This event is called what ancient Benin used to look like. So this is the Benin plaque, which is depicting the life of Abawa.
This place is low. This place is low. It's low. It's low.
This is a hieroglyph. This plaque actually depicts is a form of writing.
So that's the biggest.
That's
the biggest, largest plaque ever.
By recreating ancient Benin, because this work was created using the same traditional ancient technique. So there was no modern or foreign techniques. We demonstrate that we're still casting and producing these artifacts the exact same way. And so we actually created this and casted this right here in this compound. That's our traditional oven and casting oven over there. So this, I wanted to demonstrate the fact that our Benin plaques that were the Benin bronzes were a form of writing. and so they represent the library of the Benin people. So the Benin plaques represent the library of the Benin people. So traditionally, we're also introducing the first new guild that's been established in Benin in a very long time. And traditionally, guilds were established by the monarch in order to as official record keepers. So they were keepers of history. So these weren't simply artwork, but they were actually a way of recording our history. They were a form of hieroglyphs and a form of writing. So since our ancient days, where we used bronze casting and wood carving, and Benin is home to the world's oldest guilds that are still living today. We have not had any new guild to represent the new innovative forms of artwork. My phone is
So just a brief introduction into what you're seeing behind me being introduced, what the young man was talking about earlier. Just a brief introduction. The design there represents the story or the history of the Benin Kingdom with respect to Obaiware the First, called Yogidigan. It's called Yogidigan because he's apparently the strongest king of the Benin Kingdom, believed or credited to be the strongest king of the Benin Kingdom, and it made the Benin Kingdom extremely strong and powerful at the time. So this artifact that you see behind me here is like a historical representation of the story behind or surrounding his reign as the king of Benin, and that's why it is described as this is ancient Benin. The young man, we've interviewed him earlier, and we're going to show you the video in a short while, but he's here telling us that he decided to work on this. He's actually a British citizen, lived mostly in the United Kingdom, but he had to do this during the COVID-19 lockdown, and that's why we're here today. He said it took him about 2 years to be able to come up with this artifact that we see behind me, which I showed us earlier. It took him 2 years to be able to come up with this stuff that you see right behind me. So that's the story of this new artifact. It's the biggest ever, the biggest bronze plaque you can find in any part of the world. It's right here in Benin City, and this, for those asking, this is the residence of the Yase of the Benin Kingdom, and that's where we are streaming this live from this afternoon. So I'll be showing you the bronze plaques again, and then I'll be on.
Alongside depicting the true story of the Barak emperors, it simultaneously depicts the traditional Benin incarnation. And so the name of the plaque, which is the return of Barak, has the meaning of how the Barak returned to take his throne back, which you can see in this plaque. And it also simultaneously representing the fact that this plaque was cast at the time of Barak II. That is the reincarnation. So I wanted to convey that traditional Benin, ancient Benin belief in reincarnation by representing these things. This is actually one of the first Benin plaques to show women. So you can actually see the depiction of traditional Benin dance troupe, like what we just saw. And you can move. Yeah. So yeah. So the women in this plaque actually represent Emota, who was one of the key figures who helped Obaiware to retake his throne and assisted him by hiding him in his hut, in her hut. So Emota is actually credited as establishing kind of the first concept of a daycare. She was known as a mother to all children, though she was barren. She loved children and she looked after children, so she's a very historical figure. But you can see in the plaque that it's a bit like a maze. You can see all these different figures. This trap, for example, these symbols here, these figures are actually leopard hunters. So the helmets that they wear show that they are leopard hunters. And you can see that there were two figures on this plaque who are on the horse. So who is the real Oba? The reason these leopard hunters are next to this horse rider represents that he is the leopard, because he is the real Oba. So that represents Obaiware. This represents Obawaifioko, who was the usurper. And then you can see that the path for him to get to Obawaifioko is so riddled with challenge that there's almost no clear path. There's this trap, which you see this acrobat here represent a trap which was laid for him by this chief. And the pattern of the rope here for the acrobats follows the same pattern of his hair, of Alaikoko, to show that he is the orchestrator of the trap. And so this whole plaque, I won't go too much into it, but this whole plaque can be read as a book, depicting his story from beginning to end.
Yes, let them go on.
So we're also going to take you around and show you, welcome you into the new guild. Which is this way.
So there you have it. That's the biggest, largest plaque, bronze plaque ever. That's the largest bronze plaque you can ever find in any part of the world. It's here in the ancient city of Benin. It's in the Benin Kingdom. Okay, that young man is identifying with this bronze plaque that we have here. And of course, everybody here is excited about these artifacts that we have here. Let me just take you through one after the other. For those who are familiar with the Benin Kingdom, or who have heard about them before, you must have heard of Oba Eware the First. It's called Ogidigan for a reason, because it's about the strongest and the most powerful king of Benin ever.
If you're able to cover it,
It's called Prince Ogun. This image here depicts him. There are two horses here. This is one horse, and this is the second horse. And this depicts the house of the Iware. Sorry, the Yase here. This is on top of the palace here. Yeah, Miss Kimberly, this is Benin. This is Benin. This is inside the residence of the Yase of Benin Kingdom. Those of you who are asking, young boss is saying, I beg, saying, guard it with all your might. Let it not leave to foreign country. Actually, this cannot be stolen easily, because this is about 2 tons in all. About 2 tons. This is about 2 tons in all. Took 2 years since the time of inception to this moment when we are seeing it today. Okay, Thompson Rossi is asking about this creature, I believe. Thompson Rossi, is this what you're talking about? Well, I'm going to ask him to talk about it maybe much later, but right now he's busy with some other display. But this is, like I said, the biggest bronze plaque ever in the world. I'm going to take you around from start. So I'm going to take you around this from start to finish. So we'll go from this here to this and this and this. So go this way. I took you through this earlier, taking you around again.
that's on my worry first.
That's a confirmed Benin man giving us the details of. That's a horse there actually. So there's supposed to not be more than 1 horse, but then they had 2 horses because they had issues. There were issues. So that's a trap. This security, helmet, guards. That's him. Strong man. Passed through difficulties. This is the palace, and we're told that this snake, if it crushes the palace this way, it means it's this serpent here is supposed to ward off evil or protect the palace. But right now, what it seems is like the serpent is crushing the palace because there was evil there, during the reign of this man, before this man here came to power. That's it. And these are the other images. So for context, these are palace guards. So thank you everybody who watched this live video. We're going to share a pre-recorded a much better video than this with us subsequently, so that you can understand better some of the things that have been said here this afternoon. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.